everyone, welcome to Cloud Intern. In this tutorial, you are going to learn about the Python programming. Now, let us start looking at what programming is. For those who are not from the CS or IS background or the computer background, they do not know what actually the programming is. So, for them, the programming is a way to interact with the computer to perform various tasks. The computer do not understand the language of which we use to communicate. So it has to have some way to communicate to the computer. The computer does only understand about the zeros and the ones. So the programming languages convert these set of instruction in the computer understandable format. This is about the programming and the programming languages. There are a huge number of programming languages available like Python, Java, C++, C, Ruby, HTML, and so many of them. Now let's take a look at what is the history of the Python. Python was introduced in 1989, even before Java came into existence. Some people tell that the Java is the old language and the Python is the new one, but it is not true. Now, why the name Python? It is not named under the snake Python. In fact, the author of the Python was a big fan of a British comedy movie called as Monty Python Flying Circus. So he took up the name from this called as Python. And then when everyone liked it, he went on with the same name. Now there are various versions of Python, like there would be various versions of software. So the Python started with a 1.0 version, which was introduced in 1994. Before that, it was only the testing versions. Python 1.4 is not in existence anymore and nobody uses it. And we do have the kind of 2.0 in the market, which was introduced in the 2000s. But the support for the 2.0 will be till the end of the 2020, so one more year to go. And the new version of the Python was introduced in 2008, which is 3.x, which is still running. In the December of 2019, they introduced a newer version called as 3.8, which is running now. Now let's talk about the Python, right? What is Python actually? A Python is a general purpose, dynamic, high-level, interpreted and object-oriented language. Do not worry if you do not get any of these words, you will understand it in later videos. General purpose does mean that it can be used for different programming purposes, like programming the software, programming the website, programming the machine learning software, everything, that kind of thing. Python is a dynamic language, which means that it has an interpreter and we can debug through it, and we can also see how the actual code works one after the other. And it is a high level language, which means it is written in the user understandable format. There are also languages called as low level language, which is in the binary and ones, and some structural languages, and also let's not get deep into that. And then it is also an interpreted language. Interpreted language means that the language can be used in an interpreter, which executes the code line after the line. And coming to the object-oriented programming, where we use objects and classes aiming to represent the real world entities like inheritance, polymorphism, etc. in programming language. You will get to know about this in the later videos. Hope you enjoyed learning about the Python and see you in the next video.